Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Rhonda Fair from TTKMS and Feed from This Basket. Yes, in this basket, I am sharing some truth. Alignment. We talk about the basic issues of the law of love. And why do we go in and listen to motivation speakers about love and alignment and, about drunkenness, about negative thoughts. Interesting topic, isn't it? Well, I have to say good morning to you, afternoon or evening. To the young lady that has been playing around here with her little games on the phones, shame on you. And, it always comes back to you, honey. It's called karma. What I'm getting at, ladies and gentlemen, from this radio station, I had to go to another piece of equipment because they were taking YouTube and Smule together, and they knock it out on me, and then because I used another piece of equipment, she got upset. And it's a she because I heard her. Now, a happy wife gives you a happy life. That's right. You treat a woman bad, you're going to be really sad. Yeah, which is we run into under pressure. So if your tire is under pressure, what happens? Right? Or if it's hasn't got, it can deflate if it's not pumped up. So along with our body, under pressure is more gas that goes into the body tissues. Yeah, and you ever get that and you get a lot of gas? Yeah. So how are you doing? How you doing? Well, last night or yesterday I had a visitor from school. Haven't seen since school. And the beautiful part is, excuse me, I have to get a Kleenex. Excuse me for a moment. It come with the guitar and play up, but the thing is, he knew there was cameras in here. Get that. Oh. The lifestyle and behaviors. So we played a little bit on the guitar, not much. And we did more talking and about lifestyles and behaviors. Yes. And where our heart and mind controls. Yeah, that's what we are talking about. So he asked me some questions. Well, what questions are having ears to hear the truth or a lie? Always speak truth. It's interesting because when people come in here and whatever I speak out, everyone can hear. It's broadcasted. Yeah. So a little radio station across the world. Just like if you come in here and wanted me to lie down and try to have sex with me or whatever. Great show. We could really broadcast that one. That's a good one. Lifestyles and behaviors. So where is the person's mindset? Where's the person's mindset? Well, we talked a little bit about these books. We talked about the Bible, about Job for a moment. Job. Well, put it this way. If the truth sets you free, why would you do the opposite? So if the truth sets you free, why would you use Job against people? It is unbiblical. It is a crime, and you did it to my children. The more a person keeps a child away from you, that is an occult, and that's what causes more brainwashing so they can play with their minds. The more they can keep you separated, the more they can brainwash you. So 10 minutes they can start brainwashing you. The longer they keep you away, they can actually get you to hate somebody, even though you don't hate them. It's called brainwashing. So the longer they keep you divided, because they brainwash they want you to be familiar with their occult ways, so you're not familiar with your mom or your dad or some other family member. It's a setup. It's all setups, and that's how it works. And what happens is the person that's doing it has lost most of their dendrites. And what happens is their cells are not reproducing. So their cells will die in their body. Your body will shut down. And the more the person does this with people, it not just removes their dendrites, but their brain becomes full of, like, let's say, cobwebs. You know, when you go into a basement and you're trying to get rid of old cobwebs and you hate it, and you're trying to move it. Well, that's what happens. So when a person brainwashes you and divides you from your family, this alone will cause a person to not even know you anymore. It's deliberate. Okay? That's an occult. An occult is also people that teach that Job is to harm. So if the truth sets you free, then the person that's leading you from that is a person that's lost their dendrites, their cells aren't producing, and chaos has controlled their heart, which is hardened heart, and their mind is controlled by the negative feedback, negative way in the past. So they are emotionally unstable. And what happens is when you do this and you're living over there in that way, especially if they're playing games and doing setups with the cameras, they still do this. And what happens is the cells do quit producing. So their mind isn't on love and gratefulness. Their mind is stuck over in a place that's very dark. And they're leading lifestyles and behaviors with the occults into the dungeon. Okay? So now their genes, their proteins become very unhealthy. Your arms might quit working. Your legs might quit working. Your heart might quit working. Your lungs might quit working. When you're a baby, you're feeding off the red blood cells not from your mom when you're a fetus. And then when you're born, it transitions over to the red blood cells to you as a baby. Now, when you sit, what happens to your immune system? It creates antibodies. If in any way that a person has pulled a person away, I have what they were doing, they said they were teaching them lessons. So these very emotionally unstable people went after, they set up, there was a setup, okay? Just so you know, it was all setups. And my school friend knows it's setups. And when I told him about Job, his face just cringed because he didn't know, I don't think he knew that. But then when I showed him, well, if you know right from wrong, if it's wrong, then you wouldn't be following man's way with Job. Okay? He goes, yes. So, if I led you to divide and told you you were Job, the truth is a lie, right? So it's not setting you free. It's not setting you free. You become a science project. You are now a science project to them. We will take your work from you, daughter. That's what they do. Take your work, take your money, because they got to humble you. And they don't know what humbleness means. Okay? They replace it with the word kindness, which it doesn't mean that. So what they believe is they take everything away from you to shut you up, quiet you, and get you to follow their instructions, and they get a high and rise off it. It's like a woman getting new shoes and new coat, but a million times more. Okay? So the leader is very emotionally unstable. And I'm explaining this yesterday. Very, very unstable. Oh, you know, especially when you got a family member going, we can do this. No, we get rid of the source and we'll do just fine. Okay? So when they cause separation, I spoke with some people, agency, like FBI, Federal Bureau. and explaining in this. This is called an occult. This is what we're run from an emotionally unstable person who is basically a sociopath or a malignant narcissist. Okay? And this person can train you up to be one too. Yeah. So they divide you, they send you messages to cause problems, and they train you up to do it their way. The person is very unstable. Okay? They'll do things like get you to watch a movie so you can practice it, or a TV series so you can practice it. And that is being controlled. That is an occult. That is a person who's emotionally unstable. Okay? So if they get you to watch Misery, they're training you to get a mindset to be like that movie. If they get you to watch Law and Order, they get your mindset to be like Law and Order. Okay? And this is what this person does. And it's an unbiblical, and it is not neuroscience. It is not real science. It is man-made up science. It's not true science. And it's a project that condemns and controls other people. They use tactics from the truth and mix it with hogwash, with pig shit. And they mix the two together and they mess with your minds. Okay. So they'll get you to do what they just did this morning. Take the YouTube off, take Smule off. Then once they seen it come on my other phone, they were like, the person's unstable. Okay. How does a person become unstable? Because their lifestyle and behaviors is living in the negative. And that's what an occult do, or a person teaches you stuff like that. They will drag you down. You will no longer be striving and functioning. Your proteins will start to decrease. They get you to steal money. They get you to steal food. They pay you for it. They'll get you to cause havocs in your workplaces. It's a setup. The cameras are rolling. Get the camera rolling, right? This is what they do. They think that they're training up your mind to teach you so you can grow. This is what goes through their mind. We're teaching the person to get a mindset like theirs. Okay? That's what goes through their head. Well, if I get them to get 100,000 more proteins and 100,000 more genes to every protein, and 300 more genes away from that were from a chimpanzee, as Joe speaks about, well, then what we can do is change the immune system. And what happens is they want your immune system to be horrible. They want you to live in a dark way. So they figure if they could decrease your dendrites, decrease your enzymes, which is in your gut, and harden your heart and control your mind, they can kill you. You will actually die. Yeah. I am speaking truth. Okay, that will kill you. So if your legs are hurting right now, that's because you're listening to the wrong person. Okay? That's called control tactics. That's called control. So once the person from school calls me, so does the East End get a hold of me, so does my daughter, and so does my brother. Coincidence? No. Because it's called control. It's called control. And when they control you like that, you will start to suffer even more. When your lifestyle behaviors happens like this, it turns off your lights. And when they turn off your lights, you think that you're causing an injustice to myself and whatever. They're causing you injustice. They're killing you. Okay, that's what they're doing. It's called slowly killing you. So you're dying. Okay? That's an occult. So they don't care because you are a project. They don't care. You are a project on this filming. Okay? So you're a domino effect. If you die, oh well, too bad. They just need to use you for this project. Okay? So what happens is your cortisol levels, your IGAs and everything, it's just horrible. So your stress is up. It's going to kill you. I'm telling you the truth from your biological being, from your mind and from your heart. If any occult, any person, scientist or anyone, or a sicko that is just stalking you, what they're doing is depleting your red blood cells. So you're thinking, oh well, I'm getting money for this, so it's not a big deal. You're still going to die. It's still going to kill you. Because the brain, when it's brainwashed into wired into negativity and separate you from family and others, what it does is it kills your insides. Okay? So now they have you wired in the negative because that person is wired in the negative. Okay? So if you had a nice job and money, and they go in and take your job, and they take your money and said you have to be humbled, and okay, let's say evolution. Evolution is beautiful. What do we learn about evolution? Well, it's where our heart and mind is. Let's look at what God created. See, it's lifestyle and behavior. So when they do this, they want to hurt you. They are not telling, it's not healthy. What they're doing is killing you. Okay? And if you do not do a rendered service for them, they deprive you. But if you do a rendered service for them that makes that nut job happy for a moment, they will give you a present. Okay? So again, these occults, what they're teaching you when they're dividing you, even if it's a setup and you're doing a film or anything like that, they're killing you. That's why you also will see a lot of people die when they do horror movies, like Misery. A lot of people who stay in that kind of stuff, what happens is, this is what happens to them. So for every cell that produces 70,000 dendrites, one cell, you no longer get them. And that's why you see little girls, one little girl from, what do you call that show? She died from her heart. Right? So, and you've seen the other one where he just went crazy in the mind. And what happens is, when they have that, do that, that's what happens. It eats away at their brain, at their heart. So it eats away at the mind, because the mind has to grow healthy in here. So when our mind isn't it, well, they have you running off back here. So I'm going to tell you right now, it's murder. So they're killing you. Okay, that's murder. Because they've decreased your immune system, even though you might have given money to do certain things. They probably moved you and it could put you in a real sloppy place. And then if you do like, it's like training up a dog. And people, if they treat them badly, what happens to a dog? It gets angry, right? It gets mad. If you treat a dog bad, what's it going to do? You're going to hurt it, right? Well, a dog uses 75% of their brain. What does a human being use? Very, very little. So when they do this to you, I want you to think about this. You're not benefiting. They are killing you. They're actually murdering you. Okay, that's murder. It's attempted murder, which leads to murder. Okay. Now, so that's why, they divide you. They took separated my daughter, one daughter away from me, and my other one, because what they need to do is train up their brain. So they'll get them to do things that are wrong, and then they'll keep dividing and keep doing it. And what they can do is, after a while, they keep filling them up with shit, and they'll get you to dislike your parent. They'll get you to, this isn't a cult. So any kind of a cult, and they're all, anything can be in a cult. You can go to the YMCA and join a group. They call that an occult. But anything that's negative, that is wired in the negative, will kill you. Okay? So this is what they did at my workplace. They set it up. The cameras are rolling as part of their show. They're running the cameras. They're running the cameras across. And what happens is when they're paying people to do stuff, then when you start watching them, you actually get to see who the real psychopath is in it. And and the only sad part is other people get really hurt, really badly hurt. And especially if it includes your residents and other people that work there. So what they're doing is they change your lifestyle and behavior, and they're killing you. They're killing your immune system. Now, turning on new lights. This is where, you'll learn from behavior specialists that when they do this, the FBI says they have to step in and stop it. Okay. People that are trained. Because even if they're doing some kind of project or a film, they say they're doing a film and all this crap, and they think they're benefit, that they're not. They're doing is killing you. Okay. So what happens when people act on, when they put actions into, when you are tired, if you're too tired, your brain isn't functioning right. If you're high, your brain isn't functioning right. If you're drinking, your brain isn't functioning right. Again, especially when you're tired, you're labeled drunk, right? Because you can't drive, you can't think straight, and your real emotions come out, and you just want to rest. And so I just heard her again, the neighbor. So what happens is they're killing you. Okay. Now, the immune system, because we have our red blood cells from our mother, and then we're born. And then it transitions over from being a fetus to a birth. So it does not produce protein, the red blood cells. So which we need for structure and function. So then we start to come into the baby, right? So what happens is our immune system has antibodies, and our antibodies then we have our skin cells. We're talking about cells. So skin cells, collagen, elasticity, we can lose that. We have to do things to keep that going. Our muscles is the force of motion that we use, right? Force of motion. And this collects the cells of the protein, which is actin and myosin. Okay? Now, it slides past each other. They slide past each other. Now, the gene has to be regulated. And protein is called the transcription factors. So the transcription factors in our genes, which gives the healthy protein. So healthy or unhealthy. Because genes can cause disease. Okay? Genes cause disease. So there's, Joe spoke about there's three traits we're born with. We're born with type 1 diabetes, Tay-Sachs, and sickle Solemna. And so those are three, but the rest is all done by lifestyle and behaviors, which is 95% of ourselves. So as he spoke about the 100,000 proteins, right? And he speaks about the 100,000 genes to every protein. So then I can give you a link so you can listen to him. And, when we're listening to this, where it's all coming from? The Bible. When you're in meditation, everything they talk about in meditation and alignment comes from the Bible. Everything that Joe's speaking about is coming from the Bible. Everything that Tony's speaking about is coming from the Bible. Okay? So, we're going to teach our body, our mind, our hearts, our beautiful little heart, our heart muscle, beautiful heart muscle, it has a mind. Our mind, we teach it. It's like this little heart, as Joe calls it, the little brain. But inside our mind, we got to control our mind. So we got to change up our whole mindset. Okay. It's not that I'm trying to scare you, but I hope it does about what I just said, because it's the truth. Let's back it all up. Always back it up. But we know that anything is a negative, okay? So we need positive to remove the negative. We learned that in math, right? So turning this also, so when they train you up, they say, well, they take your work and you're going to pretend. No, they're not. Yes, they did. They took your work, they took your money, they did it to me, they did it to you. Okay? They separated, they caused division. They're using you for a science project. So now they're killing you. Now that they're killing you, the person is emotionally unstable. So whenever you get paid to do something in the negative, like my brother's legs are really hurting, that would be caused from that person. That would be that person that did that. Now, we need to turn lights on. Our cortisol levels, our IgA, are against our bacteria and viruses, and if it's not working well, what happens? So if our stress is up, our immune system is down. If our immune system is up, our stress levels are down. So I got asked, how do you do it? This is how I do it from the Bible. Or I wouldn't have made it. So I would have been dead by now, a long time ago. So we need to make more energy from the dark matter. As we talked about, we're born into dark matter. That's what we are. We are the dark matter. And then what happens is we need to remove the dark matter and we need to come into positive energy. Okay, so we need to get from dark matter and remove that and come to positive energy. Okay, so it's not, because dark matter knocks you right out of balance. If you're not in and leveled in alignment, like if you're not in alignment, you're knocked right out of balance. Because when we wake up, what's our first thoughts? Where are our first thoughts? Right? And that's what they're talking about. That's why you hear about, well, when you get married, what do you do? How do you recognize if somebody is good or bad? For one thing, you have, even for a psychopath, you got to see them more than once to recognize a psychopath. And what you got to do is match their behaviors up with their actions. But see, what happens is psychopaths are very good at doing some things. They're very specialized because they learn from you. They learn all the great traits, so they're going to come in and they're going to mirror you. So if you like music, they're going to like music. If you like the Bible, they're going to pretend they like the Bible. If you like neuroscience, they're going to pretend you like neuroscience. If you like evolution, they're going to pretend they like evolution. And that's also what a CIA agent does too, to get information. So you have to be kind of like a psychopath to be a CIA. Okay? Because a CIA can come in and manipulate you just as a psychopath can sexually and get you to screw them. Okay? So that would be one job I would never take. Okay? But that's what CIA can do. Okay? So, that is, again, one job I would never take. Because they can't, they're trained just like a psychopath. Their behaviors. Yeah. There's no way I would ever take a job on like that. Because it would just, I believe, it would just keep you in the negative. It would keep you in the dark matter. And so you wouldn't be coming up in the positive energy. You'd be stuck in dark matter, and then your marriage will decrease, your libido would drop, your relationships would fail. There'd be no sunshine or light in your life. So you couldn't stay in there forever. It would kill you. So we need to make more energy from dark matter. So, because if not, if the person was a CIA or a psychopath, like emotionally unstable, to behave that way, it knocks them out of balance. So then everything starts to fail. Okay, and that is neuroscience, and that is from the Bible. Okay, so when we wake up, like coming in here and stealing isn't. What they're doing is killing you. Okay? So gratitude changes everything. Kindness, caring, because we need to elevate our emotions. Okay? Don't, like, nobody could ask me how these people got in our lives. I don't know. But what I do know, it happened. So there is some good people out there, ladies and gentlemen, that want to do well for you. So we need to elevate the emotions. And when we elevate the emotions, it becomes into perfect rhythm. Because we want to see our family thrive. Truth will set you free. We want to see our family being built up. We want to see them built up. So when we see our family built up, we grow, right? But if we're taking someone, let's say you work at the college and someone takes your job away, and somebody else says to me, well, that's because that's what they chose to. And I'll go, no, that isn't why it happened. So there's something going on, right? Someone in the system would be changing the information, right? Yeah. So you are not Job. The parable of Job is Jesus taking upon all your crap for 3 days. He has died for us and he has risen. Okay? He did that. He didn't take anything away from Job. That was a riddle. He didn't take anything away from him. He wanted him to come to him first. It was a riddle. Just like Joseph and Mary, it's a riddle. Mary implanted the seed. Adam and Eve implanted the seed. Cultivation. The 7 days of work out there in the Old Testament, in Deuteronomy, in Kings, it's all over. Then you go back to Genesis. It all matches in alignment. It has to balance out. It has to balance out. The cultivation was 7 days. 7 day was not about works. It was about, he did the works. On the 7th day was grace. It was not paying. You're not doing the debt thing. He did the debts. Paid off. Like that. Okay? So Job is about Jesus. He did not lose anything. Job did not really truly lose all that stuff. It was a riddle, so you would understand a story of how he chose God first, even when his wife wanted him to turn the other direction. It's just so you would see that he produces more. What did he say? You would get more. Because if he kept him on the right path, you would be able to run your business better. You would be able to have a better marriage. You would be able to help your children, train them up. You would be able to have a better life. But when people are teaching you that it is about taking everything away, it is a complete lie, and it is blasphemy against God. It is complete blasphemy. If he tells you not to stumble, he tells you not to trip people up. He says if one part of the body is sick, the whole body is sick. Right? So, if the truth sets you free, then why would you use Job to cause problems? You just caused oppression. Now, another thing. Sensitivity. Well, what happens is when we have gratefulness and kindness and caring, it elevates emotions. Now, let's say we want a perfect rhythm in your heart, right? Causes positive, negative. You want the perfect rhythm. You can actually tap in here for about 30 seconds and get the lymphatic system going now. But feeling connected and rid of the heavy matter. Okay? So When Joe was talking in his talk about getting rid of the heavy rock, and then he was talking about the pebbles, what happened in the water, the heaviness, the heavy matter, the heavy rock, the heavy matter, you're getting rid of. Now you're coming lighter. May your stepping stones be what? And I wrote a story about that. It's actually for a wedding. Okay. So give God the glory, because he taught me this from the truth. So whenever I listen to their speeches, they're talking about this. They do tests, they check it out. Neuroscientists do it all the time. So if we get rid of the dark matter, because we're wired into dark matter, and we got to train our mind up to a different way. So give your burdens to the Lord, is what he's saying. Give your burdens up. Get rid of your burdens each time. Alignment. Do you think a person's going to keep forgiving you if you're causing problems every single day? Well, you have to forgive me 70 times 7. They're messing around with God's word, and it's blasphemy. Okay. No, you don't have to keep forgiving them. If they're deliberately doing, forget it. Just don't have them in your life. That's a crock. It's a lie on God's word, and it is blasphemy. Okay. So you want to feel connected and getting better. Gratitude. So if they're divided, they divided my one daughter away for a long time, and my other daughter. Why? Because they're using them for a science project. Okay. They are a science project, which is full of heavy matter. And when you are heavy matter, you need to give your burdens, what he's saying, give up that heavy rock. So your heart is a stone. It's become dark and heavy. And they have brainwashed you. So now you want to feel connected. You want to get rid of that. That's why people go in and rewire your brain. A lot of the scientists, Federal Bureau of Investigations, they are scientists and military, and they're trained in this, and they go in and they rewire your brain. So the stuff I'm sharing from the Bible, they'll use stuff like that. They'll use what I'm saying, and they'll go in and rewire your brain, so they don't mess with your head no more, and they will connect you back with your family. Give your burdens to the Lord. Get rid of the heavy rocks they throw. Get rid of them. So now, fill the nice little drops into that water. We want to look at give your burdens to the Lord. You have a hardened heart. You want to sustain. You want to meditate. So, 1 Peter 5:7, Psalms 55:22, Matthew 11:28, Philippians 4:6-7, and Psalms 35:7 all state this about handing it over. Now, to sustain and meditate. So living in stress is living only in a survival mode that's just barely keeping you alive. You see people take that drug, what's it called? They use on the streets where their head falls like this. Because that's what that drug does. You'll see a person, their head will drop like this, and they walk around with their head down like this. That's from that drug. Because they can't lift their head up. And so you'll see them go into the restaurant, wherever, sit down and lie their head down because they can't pick their head up. And then the people in there are screaming, you can't sit there and go to sleep. But they can't get their head up. You can scream at them all you want. Just leave them alone. Because they are in that awful state. They can't lift their head. That's from the drug. Over here I see them scream at them. They can't. They cannot lift their head. It's from that drug. So, when we're living in a stress environment, this is what happens. So, addiction. When we have an addiction, this is what happens to the people that take that drug. If we have an addiction that we're going to stay in the old way, or if an occult has trained you up to stay separated, even if they're filming the whole time. Yeah, we're going to make part of our project. We're all listening to Rhonda here across the world. Yeah, they're all listening. I know that. I know. Or when they send someone up here to have sex with you. I know what they're watching, they're listening. No. So, lungs and our life, everything, living in stress way is going back that way, and it's an addiction. And what happens in the addiction, you are in the old wire, your old wire the other way. So you are in the negative wire. Now you need to come to the positive wire. If a person takes your work or takes your money and they're making you cry and say, you can do this, we're humbling you, the person is emotionally unstable. The person is probably not just a malignant narcissist, but is a psychopath, is antisocial personality disorder. And this is where someone has to come in and get you away. Now, you need to be reprogrammed. So God changes the heart. That's what he's talking about. God changed the heart. Ezekiel 36:26, replacing a heart of stone, the stubbornness, all that horrible, wicked words we could talk about, changing that heart of stone, etc., with a heart of sensitivity. A heart becomes more receptive. A divine intervention becomes more fleshy. It's not so hard and rocked. And then it is converted, is intervened by the Holy Spirit, the one and only. So God does the shift in the heart. It is a process. He shifts the heart. And then the more you learn and meditate, the more you study and rewire the brain, it takes practice every day. And then what happens is it's renewing a person's nature of the way they are, and it cultivates. So when they talk about cultivating in the Bible, the 7 days or the 7 years, they say, it's actually 7 days and the day of grace. And it's the same thing. He was cultivating Garden of Eden. Okay. Everything in there with adultery has to do with adultery to God. So, yeah, you know, incest and all that. Incest, getting incestual with the wrong people. Unbelievers. So, renewing of a person is cultivating us. So the truth sets us free, so people would not be in a place of a trap. Do you understand? It's a phony science. It's a phony science if they're doing that to you. It's a phony book. And so what's best is if you have been stuck in that trap or teaching it, I hope this helps you. See, the thing is, the person decided that was emotionally unstable to keep me away from thriving because they wanted it their way. And unfortunately, even as you're doing something, God shifts the process. Okay? So when we run off an emotion or anger or anything like that, and emotionally unstable, this is a very, I guess, you know, as a mother, what's our nature and nurture to do? Care for our children, protect them, right? And that's what we're supposed to do. You'll do anything to do that. But that's why you need your army. Do not listen. If somebody has tricked you and said, oh no, we're just doing this because, you know, these ministries are just training her up. Do not believe it. It is brainwash. It is a trick. It is a trick. I don't care how much camera is reeling or whatever it is. It's a trick to the officers. Because I just explained why. Okay? That is a both sheets in the wind. They're not. They're training you up to be tricked, and the most elect can be tricked. The most elect. Do not allow that to fool you. The most elect that know their stuff can be tricked and manipulated. Okay? So again, that's what meditation is about, going in alignment. And the more you listen to this person, the more that person is killing you. So get trained up the right way in positive energy and get rid of the dark matter. I am Rhonda Fair from TTCam, Massive Feed from His Basket, and God bless.